and we're going to talk a lot about purpose and how we built Remodista. And I don't know if you all know, but Kyla and I have been friends since she was a junior at Northwestern, and that was 11 years ago. And she was one of the smartest ladies I ran across. And as you all know, when I see someone really smart, I try to bring them into our fold. And Kyla's been working with me since the beginning. So how we started building, and neither one of us really knew what purpose was, but we knew it had to be the center. I mean, share some thoughts.
Yeah, so Kelly, my first and most meaningful memory, or not most meaningful, but my first memory that I always go back to is when we first met when I was a junior in college. I was interning for this gentleman and at his mobile marketing startup. This individual created a board within Chicago to really bring together folks focused on mobile across industry there. And I was young and just super ambitious and wanted to do as many things as I could. And in that specific role as an intern, I was definitely going beyond the typical intern scope. I was writing press releases, figuring out his CMS platform, his CRM platform as well. It was pretty significant. And in a meeting, I was, sitting in the back, just like trying to take notes, and the gentleman turned to me. This was maybe 6 or 7 of his peers, and I was just like sitting on the back seat. He said, Kyla, get me a piece of paper. Knowing that I had like written this giant press release, I was kind of helping close deals with companies like Gatorade. And he was just very dismissive, like, just get me a piece of paper. And then Kelly caught it and stopped me from ripping out the piece of paper in my notebook and said to the gentleman, here, take this instead. And then the meeting continued. And then after, she grabbed me and said, hey, so did you write that press release? And did you help close this other thing? And I explained, yeah, I did, but I'm so new. I just want to learn. I'm grateful for the opportunity. And she was like, never let anyone take accountability for the work you do. And that was something that really stood with me, and I still is incredibly important to this day, because now that I'm in a position of leadership, ensuring that the people that are doing the work are getting the credit and elevating, regardless of the level, people's creativity, their energy, and their effort is core to my ethos as a young leader. And I really learned that through that initial moment with Kelly when I was like 21, and I'm certainly not 21 anymore.
How do you think, maybe looking back, like what was such a great experience for you? You were 21. I think I was 41. I think I'm a good chunk older than you, but like, was that worth it? I mean, what we went through? Because I know I asked a lot of you, but you always exceed expectation anyway.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I'm at a point now in my career where I'm typically the youngest person at my level by 5 to 10 years at certain points, maybe 5 to 8 years, to be completely honest. And I think the way that I've been able to really accelerate is from a very young age, I was given access through Kelly to insights and the conversations, and I hate to say it, but like the politics and the navigating that happens in business all of the time. And from the age of like 21, Kelly started coaching me on being aware of the conversations that were happening beneath the visible conversations, and what the motivating factors were behind that. So I think from like a strategic thinking standpoint and understanding how corporate America works standpoint, I had an advantage 100% over my peer set through really learning from Kelly. And then beyond that, being part of the Remodista community, like the fact that, I mean, Lois, I see you here. So the fact that I was in a room with people like Lois when I was like 25 or 26 in New York, these like massive successful women, and watching them operate and understanding what is important to them, just even by sitting in the room, definitely had a positive impact on me, and understanding how do I even like communicate with an executive. So now when I'm in meetings in my role at Nike or elsewhere, I'm incredibly comfortable talking to high-level senior executives because I've been coached on that just by proxy of being in the room with these leaders since I was very young, and many people don't have that opportunity. So there's a level of confidence that I have now that is abnormal for many folks within my peer set, and I'm very aware of why I have that confidence. More tactically, through Remodista, so when I graduated from college, I was heartbroken because I got to final rounds at Google and I didn't end up landing an offer. I was convinced my life would be over. It was terrible at the time. So I ended up moving to DC and getting a job at this healthcare consultancy. I was doing sales and marketing. I hated it. And through Remodista, I met a high up at Estee Lauder, and she was able to basically, and Kelly was obviously very helpful with drawing that connection. She was able to actually get me into, I had 3 different roles that were kind of offered to me at Estee Lauder. And I interviewed and went through the process, of course, but that really landed me on my new track. And that let me move to New York. And then from there, really my career kind of quickly accelerated through Estee Lauder and then at Saks Fifth Avenue, and now here at Nike. So I think in terms of first access and getting in the room, Kelly and Remodista 100% gave me that chance. And then Kelly, to circle back to your question on purpose, and then I'll let you ask the next question. It's super important to me.
Awesome.
Now as like a junior leader, focusing my energy and effort on allowing other people to have that first access is incredibly important to me, because I know what it did for me. I see that I'm very unique in a number of ways because of that first access. So now I'm looking for opportunities to give back and create that kind of channel for the next generation.
Well, so I love that. And I was talking to Kyla, you know, in my 20s and 30s, I knew the passion was calling me to cultivate women leaders. And I was like, I don't want to cultivate leaders. I want to have my own career. And it just, the calling wouldn't stop. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. Fine, then I'll do it in technology, you know, and I think the universe is like, good, just do it, you know, however we're going to do it. And I see, like, looking at the pandemic this year, do you feel like you're hitting that age where you're, you know, it sounds like where you're starting to give back or thinking about giving back to others? Like, I feel like it's a good thing we built all this based on purpose, because now it's really mattering.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yes, I mean, this year has been so, has really helped, has taught me many things in terms of what's inherently important to me. So, right, we moved from New York City, this like super diverse community. I'm biracial myself, but I, you know, hadn't really thought about a lot of things because New York is a rainbow. And then we moved to Portland, and we have this, I mean, I'm looking, this is a bigger house than I ever thought I would own, to be honest with you. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And there's like, we have like a landscape, we have a lawn, like there are things that I just never expected that became possible moving here, which is great. That said, you know, I think what I've learned is, as a more junior leader now, I have more of an accountability to bring people in. Kelly, exactly to your point, I had been so focused on myself getting to the next level, keep climbing, et cetera. And I think through everything that's happened since June, to be completely honest, and then the racial reckoning within our country, you know, the COVID exploding, unequal access to healthcare, I've realized that, okay, what is my superpower? And I think my superpower is collaboration, technology, and thinking creatively. So how can I teach that superpower to the next generation of leaders? And how can I spend my time introducing them to, like, digital product as a career? Like, many people don't even know that. So I've been doing some work looking at opportunities to start engaging with a variety of communities to kind of help get people into that first access point. And then in talking with Kelly, I know within the broader Remodista community, there's definitely opportunity as well. I think, yeah, Kelly, to directly answer your question, I've realized that I'm for so long, I've just wanted to learn from others, and I definitely still have a need and opportunity to do that. But I'm also at a point where I can start coaching people too, where I know enough where, I think I can add value and help folks that are 10 years younger than me start making the strong decisions now.
I love it. And there is one question from the audience, a guy, Alan Woodruff, and I think this is how we'll wrap it up. He was like, you're correct. Many of us don't get FaceTime with senior leadership. If someone only gets that one time to be with senior leadership, what's your suggestion?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Alan. And I think, of course, the context is critically important to answer that question accurately. But I'd say regardless of the context, what has worked effectively for me is being authentic and being able to clearly communicate the why. I've been in a number of meetings, especially with COVID. It's been interesting because even within my current company, I've met a number of senior executives for the first time over Zoom. And what I've noticed resonates well is, regardless of the topic, not being intimidated and just talking to them like another person, because they are, and everyone's going through this weird normal together. So authenticity and then being very clear on your why is, I think, transcends the context.
That's great. Well, so do you have anything that you want to add in this last moment? I'm so happy I got to talk to you live. It's just sweet.
No, I think that community is incredibly important. And I think that, women helping other women is meaningful, or, people helping other people is meaningful. And especially now, there are ways to do that, that spans specific locations. I think authenticity is critical across all of this. So understanding, for anyone who's participating in something like this or anything beyond that, understanding your why is everything. And for me, that's been my biggest learning in 2020. And I assume that will kind of help carry through for the next decade or so. And I would kind of hope you all have that opportunity as well.